Welcome to LSB Feaster's Radio Air Check and Classic TV channel.
Community College.
It's calling in to make sure that Howard Stern gets nominated Dork of the Year.
Yeah. Several votes.
He's a runaway favorite in my book. The odds are going up for him. Also, a couple of votes for Rowdy Roddy Piper, who apparently punched out Dave Wolf. And on the phone, ma'am, you have a nomination?
The dork, my ex-husband. From who I caught him in bed with another broad yesterday.
Oh, no.
But the new year is for me.
He's your ex-husband, isn't he?
Well, he's going to be now.
Oh,
Thanks for calling him.
I'm sorry. What is your ex-husband's first name?
Robert.
Robert?
Yeah?
I don't know whether we can nominate him for Dork of the Year, but I have a son that I think he'll enjoy. To Robert, this is the Z Morning Zoo's special Eat My Shorts dedication.
Please.
I look at you, my stomach turns. I hate your guts. You turn to me and whisper, you're a stupid klutz. And baby, when your memory starts to linger, I reach out and give you the finger. Eat my shorts. Yes, choke on polished cotton. Eat my shorts. Everything we have is rotten. And baby, oh baby, I'll see you in court. Eat my shorts. Eat my shorts. Yes, choke on polished cotton. Eat my shorts. Everything we have is rotten. And baby, oh baby, I will see you in court. Eat my shorts.
Tender love song.
sensitive.
Yeah, that goes out to that poor lady. I feel sorry for her.
That's terrible.
What a way to
Experience.
kick off the new year.
Or to close out the old one.
Well, that's for sure. 7:43 in the morning. This is the Z Morning Zoo. Now, ma'am, you say that I pronounced Antigua wrong?
Well, yes, it's Antigua, actually, and I'm sure you have a lot of West Indian listeners.
So you're from Antigua?
Well, no, not from Antigua. I'm from one of the other islands. I'm from Tortola, which is the British Virgins. But, of course, there are no British Virgins.
No, I'm not going to comment on that.
Moving right along here.
Well, if someone was to go to Antigua or Tortola, what are some of the highlights that you would see there besides the nice beaches?
That's about it. I mean, that's the whole joy of the thing. It's why she went down there. There's absolutely nothing to do.
Are you kind of a world geography expert?
No, actually, I was a news correspondent down in the Caribbean. And I'm visiting your lovely city. And I've visited a couple of cities in America, but not many.
Yeah, you mentioned going to, where was it, Atlanta?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, and the highlight of Atlanta was what?
The Varsity Drive-In.
You can tell this lady's a news correspondent. Yeah, the Varsity, since having spent several years there, I can tell you the Varsity is the world's largest drive-in. It has 2 decks.
I know it. And everybody's so snappy, and they come running up to your car, and they get your order very quickly, and they smile, and it's marvelous. I just love it.
That's right, one of the few places that has curb service. In fact, Nipsey Russell started at the Varsity as a curb boy before he was a comedian.
Really? Is that where he got his
I have
start?
a big picture of him framed in the Varsity.
But is it true that they have to pay the people to work there?
Under normal
Well, it
circumstances.
is a job, man.
I don't think so, but if one of the big virtues of the job is being able to see Nipsey Russell's picture over the French fry pit, it kind of makes you wonder. All right, well, listen, thank you for that correction. I'll remember it's Antigua.
Antigua.
And you have a lovely New Year, okay?
Super New Year, too.
Okay, bye-bye. Good morning, Z100. Who's this?
Good morning, Zoo. This is Bill Orange from Jersey City.
Bill, how you doing this morning?
All right, and I'd like to wish the whole crew a safe and happy New Year.
Same to you, Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you, William. Now, can you tell us how many rocking chairs you can make from a cord of wood?
You can make exactly 30 Boston rocking chairs.
Whoa! Hey, Bill.
Yeah, how did you know that? I thought I had a stumper.
Would you like to know something else? You'd like to make 12 dining room tables, too.
Bill.
1,200 editions of the National Geographic.
All right, Bill.
Right.
How did you find out?
Well, I just happened to run across a copy of the Old Farmer's Almanac for 1985.
Oh, you devil.
Show off.
All right, Bill. Congratulations. You got one of those sound band radios from Panasonic, the driving force in car audio, okay?
Thank you very, very much.
All right, give us a phrase that pays.
Z100 means music.
Miscellaneous votes for the New York City Housing Authority. Donald Trump, Andy Rooney. Some people like Andy Rooney, but
I like Andy Rooney.
he's a little bit hard to take week after week. He is the archetypical curmudgeon.
I like it when he cleans out his desk. I mean, the fascinating stuff in that guy's desk.
Absolutely. But for those of you who don't know what archetypical curmudgeon is, that means someone who hates everything. Mm-hmm. And that's what Andy Rooney is. Those people from Westchester Community College are really getting on my nerves. Howard.
Bunch of archetypical curmudgeons.
They're all voting for Howard Stern. He's doing rather well in the balloting. Regis is number 2. By the way, in the Cindy Adams column, they have a psychic in here who is doing predictions for the new year and says that Regis will have a baby.
Sure he will. Mm-hmm.
Need a little help from his wife on that one. Also says the Queen will honor Joan Collins, who will marry her young Swedish lover and adopt 2 kitties. Well, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Somehow I can't picture Joan pregnant.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Joan does not seem like the kind of woman who would want to take even a week or 2 off to just sort of lay around the house.
Ruin that figure at first.
Yeah. Also, some of the predictions. Michael Jackson will be betrothed before next December.
Sure.
No kidding.
This is from Sean Robbins, who used to work with me at that other station, WABC.
Mm-hmm.
Fired just like me. Sean also says a scratch test anchored behind the ears will alleviate the need for women to take the pill.
Oh.
Have a scratch test instead of the pill. Sure, Sean. Okay. At any rate, if you'd like to call in for Dork of the Year, balloting for 1984 Dork of the Year continues. This is New Year's Eve. Everybody has big plans here at the zoo. I myself am going to be with family and close friends tonight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm doing.
JR and Jane and I are going out, along with Ross and me, and having dinner, and then spend a pleasant evening with some friends.
That's nice.
I like to do that.
Kind of party hopping, huh, Ross?
Yeah, I don't like to throw up on total strangers.
At least you've got class, Ross. Good morning, 37 degrees at 7:56. I'm Claire Stevens with a Z100 information update. Well, less than 24 hours to go before we welcome in 1985. What does that mean? Well, for one thing, it means you can get free transportation tonight if you decide to ring in the new year with a drink in hand. Don't forget that all the major transportation systems in our area, among them the MTA, PATH, Metro North, and the LIRR, are offering you free rides into tomorrow morning. It also means that if you drive or ride in the front seat of a car in New York State and don't buckle up, it's going to cost you if you're caught. And if you live in New Jersey and don't put on that seatbelt when you're in New York, you're not off the hook. Garden State officials are warning that you could have your license suspended if you ignore a ticket. Also taking effect tomorrow, a new area code in the city. To call Brooklyn, Queens, or Staten Island, you're going to have to dial 718 first. 212 will only get you Manhattan and the Bronx. Dozens of politicians, celebrities, business leaders, and athletes helped New Jersey's public television station raise more than $168,000 last night for famine victims in Ethiopia. The 3.5-hour telethon was the brainchild of Governor Kane, whose staff worked to put the show together. New Jersey Network donated the airtime, the personnel, and its studios for the event. President Reagan will meet today with National Security Advisor Robert McFarlane to discuss recommendations for the upcoming U.S.-Soviet arms talks. He was given the proposals yesterday in Palm Springs, and that's where he's going to be ringing in the new year with friends tonight. Tomorrow, he'll get together with Secretary of State Schultz and Defense Secretary Weinberger to talk about a game plan for the talks. As 1984 draws to a close, Chief Justice Warren Burger is giving his year-end assessment of the Supreme Court. He says the justices' workload is stretched to the limit, which he says means the justices can devote barely the minimum amount of time necessary to the cases. He's calling for a new law to relieve the High Court of the duty to grant full reviews to certain types of appeals. The Center for Auto Safety says the government should take another look at a 1980 agreement with the Ford Motor Company, which averted a massive recall of 1970 through 79 Ford, Mercury, and Lincoln Continental cars, as well as light trucks. At issue were accidents in which 77 people were killed when the transmission unexpectedly slipped from park to reverse. The group says the death rate from such accidents remains high, despite the distribution of dashboard warning labels issued to the owners of more than the 20 million cars. A 21-year-old construction worker has been arrested and charged with 3 Christmas Day bombings at abortion clinics in Pensacola, Florida. Matthew Goldsby's also been charged with bombing one of the clinics last June. Yesterday's winning lottery numbers, the New York Daily 863 and the Win 4 9145. And here's Captain Kevin with Z100 Sports.
Thanks, Claire. Good morning. We're down to the final 4 teams in the NFL playoffs, and 2 of them are big surprises. If you had the underdog yesterday, go collect. In the NFC playoff game, the Chicago Bears did something they hadn't done since 1963, win a playoff game. They beat the Washington Redskins 23-19 in front of a ferocious Redskin crowd. The Bears won the game with a vicious defense, sacking Joe Theismann 7 times and allowing John Riggins only 50 yards on the ground. The Bears now move on to San Francisco to play the 49ers on Sunday in the NFC title game. The Pittsburgh Steelers came from behind at Mile High Stadium to upset the Denver Broncos 24-17. The Steelers dodged several bullets deep in their own territory throughout the game. Steelers safety Eric Williams intercepted an Elway pass late in the game to set up the winning touchdown. The Steelers' next task is to stop Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins in Miami next Sunday in the AFC Championship game. At the Garden last night, the Rangers did something they had done only once in the past 24 games, score more than 5 goals in a game.
All right.
The Broadway Blues scored 6 goals en route to a 6-2 win over the St. Louis Blues. Tonight, the Devils skate in Buffalo against the Sabres. The Islanders travel to Minnesota to play the North Stars. No games are scheduled in the NBA, but 2 college bowl games are scheduled to kind of tease you for tomorrow. In Atlanta, the Peach Bowl has Purdue playing Virginia. It's Virginia's first ever bowl appearance. And in one of my favorite bowl games, the Astro Blue Bonnet Bowl, the Texas Christian Horned Toads take on the West Virginia Mountaineers. Who plays in a game named after a tub of margarine? Really? I'm Captain Kevin for Z100 Sports.
Hello.
Z100 weather.
Some early morning sunshine today, increasing cloudiness this afternoon with a chance of rain tonight and into tomorrow morning. A high expected today of 47. We're going to see cloudy skies by tomorrow afternoon when the rain clears out. Currently 37 degrees at 8:01. I'm Claire Stevens for Z100.
No time to call and have them cater your New Year's Eve party. Here's how it works. Call the Heine Winery at 555-WINO and tell bookkeeper receptionist Ophelia Heine you'd like your New Year's Eve party catered. From there on, they do the rest. The Heine crew will show up at your home New Year's Eve afternoon, that's this afternoon, and set everything up. You get 5 cases of red Heine, 5 cases of dry Heine, and 20 bottles of that de-alcoholized Heine in the bottle with the screw-off cap to enjoy at the stroke of midnight. Picture this if you can. At 11:59 tonight, all your guests grab their Heinies and welcome the new year with their Heinies held high.
Right.
And for an extra $75, you can have a Heine fountain for your party. This way there's no messing around with those cans or bottles. The Heine fountain comes complete with a beautiful hand-cut crystal bowl and pump and all the Heine you can drink. You don't have to worry about not having enough Heine to go around. You know how a party can come to a screeching halt when you tell your guests they're going to cut off their Heine. I think your guests will enjoy grabbing a glass and dipping a drink out of the Heine bowl, guaranteed to add a touch of class to any party from the Heine Winery, Hicksville, Long Island.
I love Heine's wine. Flip a tab, pop a cork, blow your mind. Grab some Heine tonight. It will bring such delight. Heine's drink, whether